and welcome back to my channel for another video. And today I am going to be sharing my 2023 January pages. I have 6 spreads in total in this setup, and the final one is the weekly spread for the month. So here you can see some of the preview for the spreads. I have a book and very light theme. I'm very sorry for my voice. It is kind of dead today, but I want to be able to post this video, so hopefully the voiceover is still going to be good. Here are some of the supplies that I will be using. The journal that I'm using is from Amazon, and all of these supplies will be listed in the description box down below. So there's all of my fine liners and also my Tombow jewel brush markers for the colors. And now that we are onto the video, let me explain a little bit more about this video. First of all, why it is coming so late, and the reason is that I'm very late with January this year. But I still wanted to share this video even though it is very late, just to share some more inspiration, and also because this theme can be used for any month, so why not just sharing it? And the second reason it is because it is not my personal bullet journal. I haven't made a January in my personal bullet journal. This journal is for my website. I have a website where I sell digital bullet journals and planners, and for each month I have a theme and I make pages just like in my bullet journal, but I make them digitally for anyone that wants to bullet journal but maybe doesn't have the time to make them, or just wants the simplicity of being able to just print them and use them. And I am not very good yet with drawing digitally. I need to have it done physically on paper first to have an idea of the drawing and how I want things to look before I can do it on the iPad. So this is what this journal is for. I'm going to be doing all of my themes for my shop on paper and sharing them as a secondary theme for my channel. So this is the cover page, and if you are interested in getting one for yourself, the link will be in the description box down below. But I decided to still release my January pages, but I wanted to wait until they were done to share this video. And they are going to be launching this week, so I thought I could share this video now before it is too late into January to do it. Also, if you are looking for a particular spread, there will be timestamps in the description of this video. And if you want to see all of the pages, including 2 pages that I haven't shared in this video, there will be in the final flip through at the end of this video. Moving on to this second spread, it is the monthly calendar. And for this one, I decided to go with a giant bookshelf and have the calendar inside of it. So the outside that you can see that I'm drawing here is just the outside wood part of the bookshelf, and then I will add all of the details and all of the different squares inside of it later. And each day inside the calendar is 6 by 6 squares, and there's obviously 31 spreads. And then at the bottom I had too many. I didn't want to have the last week only has 2 days, and I didn't want to have a weird cutout in the bookshelf, and I wanted a flat line all throughout the bottom. So I decided to add a note section and a to-do list at the bottom of the calendar. And then I just did simple calligraphy for the title, which is just January at the top. I mostly used this pink purplish color, a really dark purple, and a turquoise color for my main colors, with some pops of brown, of light brown, and some yellow for the fairy lights. Here you can see all of the doodles that are in this theme. I kind of went with the same few doodles. We have like the open flying book with the pages open, so you can see from the side, and then one from the top also flying, and then these stacks of book at the bottom. I was debating when I decided for the theme whether to go for realistic colors or just go full out with like crazy colors, and I had this color palette in mind and I really wanted to do that, so that's what I did. And then I started adding on top of the bookshelf a string of light, so it's just like a line or a cord going over the bookshelf, and then I just draw little circles in yellow for the lights. Honestly, just like really simple and minimal as I could, to make it just the least time consuming that I could, to make it just pleasant to do. I just wanted to have fun with this theme because it's not my personal journal where I am very perfectionist. I really wanted this one to be a little bit more fun and going out of my comfort zone, trying things that I wouldn't do for myself. So I had a lot of fun with that one. And since there's a lot of coloring, it was also like very fun. And I tried to add in some details onto the spines of the books, so you will see a little bit better once I have added the colors in, just to make them a little bit more interesting, I guess. But that's pretty much it for this spread. Next we have a habits tracker, which is probably one of the most useful spread in a monthly planner. I just personally love habits tracker as a reminder of things that I want to do for myself. It could be things that I want to do better at, but also just self-care reminder, or just things that I want to do to better myself or to improve my life in any way, shape, or form. And also just sometimes it's also to remember to do something fun. If you like drawing, maybe set your habit as drawing for 15 minutes every day. I don't know, but I really enjoy having a habits tracker in my bullet journal personally, so I always try to include one in any of my setups. This one is really simple. I just have 9 mini calendars. They are 2 squares separated by 2 squares on each side, and then on top of each other there's also 2 squares in between each, and then there's 1 square and then the line of color for what habit it is on top of each mini calendar, and then some space at the top and some space at the bottom. The bottom one I use to add some books, and then the top layer, the top half has the title, some floating books, and some more fairy lights. I don't know why I wanted to do fairy lights and books, but I think I really would like a reading nook with a lot of fairy lights, so I guess that's where that inspiration comes from. And I just made it really just like the easiest to draw, which I think is also good for you guys because you can recreate those without having any particular skills. You may be able to tell when I am a little bit more closer in those clips that they are not perfect in any way, shape, or form. For my next tracker, we have a mood tracker, and if you never heard of one before, it is basically a place to record your mood every day of the month. You can either just rate your day based on certain emotions, or just if it was a good or a bad day. I personally do with smiley faces from good to bad. But there's a bunch of different ways to find what works for you personally. I would suggest just trying a bunch of things out for a few months to see what you like. The way I made this one, I started by obviously sketching it in pencil first, but I outlined all of the fairy lights for the actual tracker parts because each light bulb has a space is basically for one day of the month, so you can color in the lights with the color that you chose in your emotions, and then I just added shelves around to kind of have the fairy lights come from like hanging from the shelves, and then I just decorated them with a bunch of books all around, and the lower half of the spread just has the title. So a really simple spread, a little bit more on the doodle heavy side and a lot more drawing, but it's nothing complicated. And if you don't want to do as much, if you want to make one for yourself and not do as much, it's also very much possible. Also, I am just realizing now that I have completely forgot to talk about something, and it is very important. You may have seen in the close-ups the state of my arm, that my arm is completely bruised and like really looking awful. So I thought I would explain that very quickly before anyone gets alarmed or anything. I went in for an MRI a couple of days before I recorded this, and they put an IV on my thumb on one of the veins that goes on top of your thumb to get the liquid in to do the MRI. And I don't know what went wrong with all of that, but in the next couple of days after that MRI, every single vein around my arm blew up, like every single one. So it looks like I've been beat up because my entire arm is completely swollen and completely bruised all over. And I realize how bad it's looking in these clips, and I just wanted to explain that very fast before anyone gets concerned for me. I am okay. I just had an MRI and I have very fragile veins, and they did not like having an IV placed. But anyways, we are moving into our next spread, and this one is a gratitude. I can't say it. Why can't I say it? Gratitude log. I finally said it. I don't know why it was so hard, but I basically just had a huge bookshelf, just like I did for the calendar, that takes up the whole page, and is the white part in the middle has 31 rows for each day of the month. And this is a new page that I'm adding inside my my business pages because I had been using the ones that I personally use, which is a high and low of the day, but I have seen that people don't really get what it is and don't understand it very well or don't like it as much. So I am trying to see if maybe people like the gratitude log better. So that's what I'm adding to see for the first time in my bullet journal. But basically, if you don't know what it is basically kind of like a diary, and each day you write a line for something that you are grateful for that day. So if you are grateful for your mom, your dad, the good weather, anything that you are grateful for, and it is a great mental health practice to see more positively and think more positively and just overall feel more grateful for what you have, and just realize how much you actually have without knowing it, if it makes sense. So yeah, this is what I'm trying out for this month. And moving on to our very last spread, which is my weekly spread for that month. And very quickly, before I start talking about this, I wanted to say that I skipped over 2 trackers for this month, which are the sleep and water tracker, just because they are a little bit more repetitive. I always do kind of the same thing, just adding the theme on top, and they are kind of more basic spreads. So to not have this video be 30 minutes long, I wanted to just skip over that one, and then maybe another month I will share them and not share something else, just to not share the exact same pages every single time, because I do tend to keep the pages very similar. But for this weekly spread, the first thing I'm adding with the same bookshelf type thing of layout, I have the events section for this page, and it is 9 by 30 squares. I'm pretty sure I counted that wrong, I'm not sure, but and then a 1 square border all around with 2 squares at the top for the title of the page. And then I added the daily sections with the brown headers, and each day is 9 square wide, and then like it starts, and then halfway through the page there's the second part, if it makes sense. So I have the 8 days, and then the section left on the right corner will be for a note section and some doodles. And then I just added some string for fairy lights, some floating books, which you can see it's the exact same layouts as I did for all the other ones. And then I have another string of fairy lights going over the first line of daily at the tops. You will see them a little bit better once I start coloring them, which is right now. I just have some a little bit everywhere. I really like the effects that it gives. It's a little bit more random and just more fun, I guess. But yeah, that's basically it. I also added a mini calendar on top of the event section, and then just have the January title, and underneath it adding the date for that week. But that's basically it for this video. The only thing that will be left at the end will be the final flip through for this video. So if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the post notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload next for more bullet journal content, and also for some lifestyle content. And also, don't forget to tell me in the comments any other theme idea that you might have for future bullet journals. I always try to include theme ideas that I get from you guys. You can also follow me on all of my other socials, which are all in the description box down below, for more daily updates. And check out my shop in the description box as well if you are interested in any of my products. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!